Today, I'm going to give you the truth most people never hear, the truth that separates the champions from the crowd. And I'll tell you right now, it's not what you think. Everybody wants to know the secret. They say, Michael, what made you the greatest? Was it talent? Was it luck? Was it natural ability? And I laugh because none of that is the answer. None of that is the secret. Talent. Talent fades when you stop working. Luck comes and goes. Natural ability, it only takes you so far. If that's all it took, then every playground hero would have been a legend, every gifted kid would have been a champion, but they're not, because they never discovered the real secret. When I was cut from my high school team, nobody thought I would make it. Nobody thought I'd ever stand on the NBA floor, let alone win 6 championships. I wasn't the tallest, I wasn't the strongest, I wasn't born with some divine gift that guaranteed greatness, but I had something else, something I didn't even understand back then. I discovered the secret. The secret is this: champions are not chosen. Champions are built, and they are built through obsession, through discipline, through the fire of failure, and the choice to keep going when everything in you says quit. You want to be a champion, you need to stop chasing shortcuts. Stop searching for an easy path. Stop wishing for talent you don't have. The secret doesn't live in what you're born with. It lives in what you're willing to do. You see, the crowd spends their life talking. They talk about what they could have done, what they should have done, why life isn't fair. They wait for the perfect opportunity, the perfect moment. And while they're waiting, the champions are working. While the world is asleep, champions are awake. While others are complaining, champions are building. While the weak are quitting, champions are grinding. And here's what most people will never accept. It's not glamorous, it's not fun, it's not pretty. The secret is pain, the secret is sacrifice, the secret is giving more of yourself than you thought you had day after day, year after year. That's why the crowd never finds it, because it's buried deep inside suffering, and most people turn back the moment they feel discomfort, but the champion keeps walking through the fire. The champion learns to love the grind. The champion chooses obsession over excuses. And that right there is the secret. The one thing nobody can give you, nobody can hand you, nobody can fake. You want to be a champion? Learn this truth, embrace this truth, live this truth. Because once you understand it, once you make it a part of you, your whole life changes. Most people never become champions because they're chasing the wrong things. They think being a champion is about talent, about fame, about some magic gift that only a chosen few are born with. That's a lie. That's why they stay average. Let me break it down for you. Talent. I've seen talent wasted more times than I can count. I've seen guys with more skill than me, more height, more speed, but they never made it. You know why? Because talent made them comfortable, and comfort kills ambition. Comfort whispers, you're good enough, and champions never listen to that voice. Fame is a trap. It blinds you. People start clapping for you, and suddenly you think you've arrived, but applause doesn't win championships. Crowds don't put in the hours for you. If you let fame be your fuel, the moment the applause fades, so does your fire. And luck. Don't even talk to me about luck. Luck didn't make me wake up before dawn to hit 1,000 shots. Luck didn't make me train when my body begged me to stop. Luck didn't make me bleed, sacrifice, and suffer. That was choice. That was discipline. That was obsession. You see, the world sells you a dream that champions are chosen, that they're born special, that destiny picks them. But here's the truth, you don't get chosen. You choose yourself. You choose by showing up when it hurts. You choose by working when nobody's watching. You choose by refusing to quit, even when quitting feels easier. I remember the nights after we lost in the playoffs, reporters asking if it was the end, critics saying I wasn't enough, fans doubting me. Do you think whining about it would have changed anything? Do you think pointing fingers would have won me a single ring? No. The only thing that mattered was what I did next, and what I did was go back to work, harder, smarter, more obsessed than ever. That's the difference between the crowd and the champion. The crowd whines, the champion works. The crowd blames, the champion builds. The crowd quits, the champion builds. And here's the part you need to understand. The secret is not hidden in talent, not buried in luck, not waiting for some miracle. The secret is simple but brutal: discipline and obsession. Those two will take you places. Talent never will. Champions don't make excuses. Champions don't complain. Champions don't wait for perfect conditions. They create them. They build themselves in silence and pain and sacrifice. And when the lights come on, when the moment arrives, they're ready because they already paid the price long before anyone was watching. So stop believing the lies. Stop chasing talent, luck, or applause. There are distractions. The real secret is inside you, waiting to be unlocked by discipline, by obsession, by relentless work. You want to be a champion, kill the excuses, kill the comfort, kill the lies, and start living the truth. So let me tell you exactly what this secret looks like in real life. Because it's not just a slogan, it's not just words, it's a way of living. When I was young, after being cut from the team, I had two choices: whine about it or work on it. I chose the second. And from that moment, my life became obsession. Not interest, not a hobby, obsession. Obsession means the game is always on your mind. It means you're the first one in the gym and the last one out. It means every missed shot isn't failure. It's a lesson. And you take that lesson into the next rep, the next drill, the next day. Discipline is what carries obsession when the fire gets low. Because let's be real, there were mornings I didn't feel like practicing, days I didn't feel like running, nights I didn't feel like shooting another 1,000 jumpers, but I did it anyway. Not because I wanted to, but because I had to. That's discipline. And here's where most people lose. They wait to feel motivated. They wait to feel ready. Champions don't wait. They act. Champions understand that feelings are temporary, but discipline is forever. Let me give you a picture. Imagine walking into a silent gym, the floor shining under the dim lights. Everyone else has gone home. Your body is sore. Your legs are heavy. Your lungs are burning. You could stop. You could call it a day. But instead, you pick up the ball and you keep going. That's the moment. That's where the secret lives, not in the spotlight, not in the applause, but in the unseen hours when nobody's watching. You see, obsession doesn't care about comfort. Discipline doesn't care about excuses. They don't care if you're tired or busy or hurting. They demand consistency. They demand sacrifice. And if you give them everything, they'll give you greatness. People always ask me, Michael, weren't you afraid of missing the big shots? Of course I was, but fear didn't control me. Discipline did. I missed thousands of shots in my career, but every miss taught me something. Every failure sharpened me. And that's another piece of the secret. Champions don't fear failure, they feed on it. Failure is fuel, but only if you use it. Wine is wasted. They complain, they blame, they collapse. Champions take that same failure, break it down, learn from it, and rise stronger. So if you want to be a champion, you got to stop running from the work, stop waiting for motivation, stop hiding from failure, and start embracing obsession. Start living discipline. Start using every setback as fuel, because the secret isn't magic. The secret is sacrifice. The secret is consistency. The secret is the decision you make every single day to keep moving forward, no matter what. I'll tell you something most people never realize until it's too late. The secret is not hidden in victory, it's forged in struggle. The world remembers the championships, the trophies, the rings. But what made me a champion wasn't the finals. It was the days and nights nobody saw. The weight room at 5 a.m., the empty court long after practice ended, the endless drills, the sweat, the pain. That's where the secret lived. Champions are made when nobody is watching. You can't fake it under the lights. You can't pretend you put in the work. The truth shows itself when the pressure comes, and if you didn't pay the price in private, you'll be exposed in public. I live by this: never let anyone outwork me. Never. You might be taller, stronger, faster, but you will not beat me in effort. That was my edge, that was my obsession, and every single time I trained, I reminded myself, this is the rent for greatness. You see, people want the results, but they don't want the rent. They want the rings, but not the responsibility. They want the glory, but not the grind, but the rent is due every day. And if you skip payment, you don't get to call yourself a champion. Discipline means doing what needs to be done, even when it's boring, even when it hurts, even when nobody is clapping for you. Obsession means never being satisfied, always pushing for more, always chasing better. Together, they are the secret. They are the difference. I'll never forget the nights after losing in the playoffs. I felt crushed. I felt angry. I felt like I let my team down, my city down, myself down. That pain could have broken me. I could have whined. I could have blamed. But instead, I used it. I let it fuel me. I turned pain into purpose. That's the mindset of a champion. When life hits you, you don't collapse, you rise. You don't waste time complaining, you invest time improving. Every loss, every failure, every setback is a stepping stone. It's part of the process. And here's the truth. The crowd doesn't want that process. They want shortcuts. They want quick wins. They want success without sacrifice. But shortcuts don't build champions. Shortcuts build excuses. So ask yourself, when nobody's watching, when the crowd is gone, when it's just you and the grind, what do? Do you quit? Do you complain? Or do you keep working, keep fighting, keep building? Because that choice right there reveals whether you'll stay average or become great, whether you'll fade into the crowd or rise as a champion. And that's the secret most people ignore, but every champion lives by. Everybody wants to be a champion when it's easy. When the crowd is loud, when the cameras are on, when the spotlight is shining, that's when people want the title. But here's the truth, champions are defined in the dark, not the light. The dark is when nobody cares, when nobody is cheering, when nobody believes in you. The dark is when it's just you, your doubts, your pain, and the grind. That's where champions are made. I remember nights when my body screamed at me to stop. Knees aching, back sore, hands raw from shooting until they burned. I could have quit. I could have told myself, you've done enough. But that's the moment where most people fail. They stop just short of greatness. They stop because it hurts. They stop because it's lonely. But I didn't stop because I understood the secret. Champions go further. Champions embrace the pain, embrace the loneliness, embrace the doubt. They see it as the price of entry. And you know what? That pain gave me strength. That loneliness gave me clarity. That doubt gave me hunger. While others were comfortable, I was sharpening myself in the fire. People say to me, Michael, what's the difference between you and everyone else? The difference is simple. I refuse to negotiate with excuses. I refuse to let comfort dictate my future. I refuse to let fear decide my destiny. And that's what most people don't get. They think the enemy is outside, the opponent, the critics, the doubters. But the real enemy is inside. It's the voice that says, take it easy. The voice that says, you've done enough. The voice that says, you'll never make it. Champions don't listen to that voice. They silence it with action. They drown it with discipline. They starve it with obsession. So ask yourself right now, which voice are you listening to? The one that tells you to settle or the one that demands you rise? Because here's the truth, you don't need more talent. You don't need more luck. You don't need more applause. You need to master that voice inside. You need to command it, control it, and bend it to your will. That's the secret nobody tells you. Champions aren't superhuman. They don't have magic. They have mastery over themselves. Their mind is stronger than their feelings. Their will is stronger than their fear. Their discipline is stronger than their doubt. And when you reach that level, when your mind becomes unshakable, when your will becomes unstoppable, then nothing and no one can take victory from you. That's the secret. That's how you rise. That's how you become a champion. Let me tell you what separates the dreamers from the champions. Dreamers talk, champions act, dreamers imagine, champions execute, dreamers wait, champions create. I've seen so many players come into the league with hype, with talent, with everyone calling them the next big thing. And then a few years later, they're gone. Why? Because they believed their own story. They thought talent was enough. They thought hype would carry them, but hype fades, talent fades. What doesn't fade is work. Work is eternal. Obsession is eternal. Discipline is eternal. That's why champions last. That's why they endure. I remember during my prime, people said, Michael, you're the greatest. But I never believed it. Not for 1 second. Because the moment you believe you've arrived, you're done. The moment you think you've made it, you're finished. Champions live like they're still chasing, like they're still hungry, like they've got something to prove, even after they've proven it 1,000 times. That's another piece of the secret. Stay hungry, stay restless, stay uncomfortable. Comfort is a silent killer of greatness. Comfort tells you relax, you've earned it. Comfort tells you you don't need to push anymore. But champions know comfort is a trap. The moment you fall into it, you start dying. You want to know why I trained like I was broke, even after I had millions. Why I worked like I had nothing, even after I had everything. Because I understood this, success is rented, not owned. And the rent is due every single day. Every day, I woke up with a choice. pay the rent or lose the crown. And I paid over and over with sweat, with sacrifice, with obsession. That's the secret formula. And let me be clear, the secret is not easy. It's not glamorous. It's not for everyone. That's why so few make it, because most people would rather talk about success than bleed for it. They'd rather post about it than pay for it. But if you're willing to pay, if you're willing to sweat when nobody's watching, to sacrifice when nobody cares, to keep going when nobody believes, that's when the door is open. That's when the world has no choice but to call you a champion. So stop waiting for the world to give you permission. Stop waiting for someone to hand you the crown. Crowns aren't given, they're earned, they're fought for, they're taken. And if you want one, you better be ready to pay every single day. That's the secret, and that's the challenge. Here's the reality, the secret I've been talking about. It doesn't just apply to basketball, it applies to life. You might not be chasing championships on the court. Maybe you're chasing your dream business. Maybe you're fighting to build your body. Maybe you're struggling to find purpose in the middle of chaos. It doesn't matter what the arena is. The rules are the same. Champions are built on sacrifice, discipline, and obsession, period. When I was in the game, people thought I was competing only against other players. Wrong. I was competing against myself, against my own limits, against my own doubts. That's what made me dangerous. That's what gave me the edge. And that's what you need to understand. The real battle is inside, not against the world, but against the weaker version of yourself that wants to quit. Most people lose that battle. They let comfort win. They let excuses win. They let fear win. And then they wonder why they're stuck, why they're average, why they never rise. But champions refuse. Champions wake up and declare war on themselves every single day. They ask, how can I be better than I was yesterday? How can I push further, harder, deeper? That's the mindset. That's the secret. Look, I know life is unfair. I know you've been hurt. I know you've been doubted. I know you've been overlooked. So was I. But here's the thing. Whining never made me stronger. Complaining never won me a game. The only thing that worked was putting my head down and doing the work. And that's the choice you face. You can keep crying about what's wrong, or you can get obsessed with making it right. You can keep listening to the noise, or you can shut it out and focus on building yourself. I didn't have a shortcut. I didn't have a secret path that nobody else knew. I had the same 24 hours as everyone else. The difference, I squeezed every ounce out of them. I made every second count, and you can too. But you have to stop looking for easy. You have to stop waiting for someone to save you. You have to stop blaming the world for not handing you greatness. Greatness is not given. Greatness is earned, carved, bled for. And the only question is, are you willing to pay the price? Because if you are, then the secret is yours. You'll rise, you'll overcome, you'll dominate, not just in the game, but in life. That's the truth. That's the mindset. That's the way of a champion. So now you know the secret. And let me be clear, it was never really hidden. It was right in front of you the whole time. The problem is most people don't want to see it because it's not easy, because it demands sacrifice, because it forces you to give up comfort and excuses. But if you truly want to be a champion on the court, in your work, in your life, you can't run from it. You can't deny it. You have to embrace it. The secret is simple: obsession and discipline. Obsession keeps the fire alive. Discipline keeps you moving when the fire flickers. Together they make you unstoppable. I didn't become Michael Jordan because of luck. I didn't become a champion because of talent alone. I became who I am because I lived the secret every single day. Because I refused to quit. Because I refused to listen to excuses. Because I demanded more of myself than anyone else ever could. And that's what I'm telling you right now. Demand more of yourself. Stop whining. Stop waiting. Stop looking for shortcuts. Take ownership. Take control. Take responsibility. The world will doubt you. Let them. The critics will mock you. Ignore them. The failures will sting. Use them. Because every doubt, every insult, every setback is just fuel for the fire. When you walk into the dark gym alone, when you push through the pain, when you silence the excuses, that's when you're forging yourself into a champion. And one day when the lights are on, when the moment arrives, when the pressure is highest, you'll rise, you'll be ready. Because you already paid the price. So let me leave you with this. Greatness doesn't belong to the chosen few. It belongs to those who choose themselves, to those who decide that no excuse is stronger than their will, to those who are obsessed enough to keep going and disciplined enough to never stop. That's the secret. That's the truth. That's the way of a champion. And if you're brave enough to live it, then one day the world won't just call you a winner.